Welcome, everybody, to Reach and Read. My name is Katie, and I work at the Sacramento Public Library, where books are just the beginning. We're so happy to have you here, and we're happy to have local yoga instructor Kat Sun with us today, and we'll get to her in just a moment. But first, I wanted to mention a few things. So first is just some housekeeping. So we're doing this in a webinar format, so we do have all participant microphones and video disabled. But if you have a question or a comment that you'd like to share, you can feel free to use the Q&A function that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. If you're having any audio related issues, please exit the program and re-enter. We find that doing that will typically solve that issue. If you need closed captioning at any point during the program, just click the live transcript button that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. You'll click that button, wait just a moment, and then you'll see that closed captioning pop up and you can follow along. And this program is being recorded and will be shared to the virtual yoga playlist on our YouTube channel, which you can find under Sacramento Public Library. And it should be ready by early next week, so you can check it out there. And make sure to stick around after the yoga demonstration for a short book recommendation based on this week's theme. And of course, I wanted to mention that we have lots of health resources available at the library. So I wanted to share a couple of other programs just in case you weren't aware. So we do virtual Zumba on Mondays at 5:30. We also have virtual Zumba Gold on Wednesdays at 4. And Zumba Gold is great for beginners and older adults to join. So it's kind of a slower pace if you're just new to the Zumba scene. So that's a great one to come to. And of course, you can check out a book about the benefits of exercise, mindfulness, and yoga from the library collection. And I did want to mention, because we are right in the middle of summer reading right now, that our health literacy programs actually count towards summer reading activities, and you can actually earn prizes for the more points that you get. So the more activities you do, the more points you get, and you get prizes as a result. So I put a little shortcut there so that you can see how to log your activities. So make sure to check that out. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you and turn things over to Kat. So Kat, take it away, and everyone, please enjoy.
Great, thanks so much, Katie, and hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for being here. So as always, I'm offering this from home, so please excuse any extraneous noises you might hear. And then, as always, you're going to want to have some of your yoga props. So I've got, you can see, a blanket laid out over my mat, a couple of blocks, a yoga strap. So just kind of the standard stuff that we usually have. Okay, and then we are currently in a series that is focused on kind of self-care for the caregiver and parents. So today's theme is on balance. So we are going to start on our backs to do just a little bit of warm-up and gentle movement, and then eventually we'll be coming on up to start to do some balancing stuff. Okay. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna go ahead. So you can see my blanket is laid out long. That just facilitates some sliding and gliding while we're on the floor. Because if it's just a yoga mat, you might find it, you might get kind of stuck on the sticky mat. So let's go ahead and start on our backs. And as always, we take that moment to arrive. Your legs can be stretched out long, or if that's not good for your back, you can bend your knees and then let your knees sort of knock in, walk your feet a little bit wider apart so the knees support each other. So either options, hands to the sides, palms up, or turning your palms down and hands onto the body. And just take a few moments to arrive, to land. So as you settle in, maybe you can gently close your eyes or soften your gaze if you prefer to keep your eyes open. Let's take a moment to open our mouth and stretch out our face. Maybe stretch out your tongue, wiggle out your jaw. And then once you're complete with that, letting the mouth come back to a close, keeping your mouth soft now. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep inhalation in through our nose. And we're going to haw it out through our mouth. And again, a nice big inhale in through the nose. And sigh it out. And one more, just like that, big breath in. Breathe it all the way into the low belly. And as you exhale, just surrender your weight into the earth. Keep your mouth soft, your tongue soft, and let the front of your throat soften towards the back of the throat as you relax the muscles around the eyes and soften the space of the forehead, the temples, the cheeks. And then just noticing your breaths. So just feel that pulsation of the inhale and the exhale. Just your natural breath, tuning into your natural breath. Letting your natural breath be nice and full. And as you focus your awareness onto your breath, the breath will maybe begin to just settle. Maybe it becomes a little more rhythmic, a little more even. Just letting the breath do its thing. Okay. And then from here, let's just go ahead and bend one knee at a time. And then hug your knees into your chest as we rock a little side to side. Just massage your low back into the floor. Just checking in. How's the back this morning? Maybe there's a little bit of a stretch in the outer hips as you hug the knees in towards you, rocking a little side to side. Okay, and then we keep the knees together. So we always do this little warm up. So keeping the knees together now, we're going to circle the knees together in the air, and our awareness is on our sacral low back area. So sacrum is that triangle bone right above your butt crease at the base of the spine and the back body there. So just feeling all around that sacral area as you slowly circle your knees in the air. And then slow it down even a little bit more. So you really can start to feel and breathe into what's there. And when you're ready, just switch the direction of the circling of your knees in the other direction. Nice and easy. Good. Okay, the next time your knees come to your chest, we're gonna send the knees away from us. And then we open them wide, keep them wide apart now as you hug them in towards the armpits and then back towards the chest. So we're circling the knees now as they mirror each other. One hand on each knee. And we're bringing movement now into the hip sockets there. And then whenever you're ready, just switch the rotation. So circling it in the opposite direction. The knees are still mirroring each other. Okay, and then next time you bring it in, just hug the knees towards the armpits again. So split the knees wide apart and just gently hug it in. Rock a little side to side here. And if this is not an easy class, you can always use your strap. So for those where, this is not, you use your strap as much as you need. You can slide the strap around the two knees and then hug it in that way. Okay, so now hugging the knees in, we're gonna circle our feet around the ankles. So I like to mirror the feet, so all 10 toes are pointing in, then up, then out, then down. Sometimes people like to have them go in the same direction instead, so just what feels right for you. And then circling them in the opposite direction. Just waking up those ankles, the articulation of the feet. So important for our sense of balance in the world to really work with the feet and the ankle, strengthen the ankle, strengthen and stretch. Okay, and then from there, again, just a gentle rock side to side. And then we're going to release the legs and let your legs slide long now. From here, let's go ahead and let your right hand, so both hands facing down on either side of the body, start to slide your right hand down towards the bottom of the mat. And then bring it back to neutral. And then slide your left hand down towards the bottom of the mat. And bring that back to neutral. This time slide your right hand down towards the bottom of the mat. As you do so, can you start to flex both feet and press out through your left heel? So right hand and left heel are pressing down towards the bottom of the mat. and then bring it back to neutral. And the other side, left hand and right foot are pressing towards the bottom of the mat. So right hand or left hand palm down slides down, and then the right foot, your foot is gently flexing, you're pressing up through the heel. And bring it back to neutral. Okay. One more time, right hand slides down, left foot slides down, and this time slide your left shoulder up. So left heel presses down as the left shoulder slides up towards the top of the mat. The right hand is sliding down towards the bottom of the mat. And then we bring it to neutral and other side. Left hand, right foot slide down, and then the right shoulder is sliding up. And back to neutral we come. From there, we're going to roll to the outer edge of that right foot. Stay on the outer edge of the foot and slide the foot up towards the inner groin. So your right knee now points out to the side. And then just slide along the outer edge of the foot to straighten the leg. And then other side, roll to the outer edge of the left foot, slide the foot up. And slide it back there. Good. Back to your first side. Slide the right foot up, outer edge of the foot. Now you're going to roll onto the sole of the foot and let the roll to the inner edge of the foot so your right knee in swings. And then open the right knee back out to the side and slide the foot down. Outer edge of your left foot, slide the foot up. Come onto the sole of the foot, then roll to the inner edge of the foot as the left knee crosses to the right. And then open the left knee back out to the left. And now along the outer edge of the foot, slide it away. Back to your right side, outer edge of the right foot, slide it up. Come onto the sole of the foot. Press to the inner edge of the foot. Now, as you press to the inner edge of the foot, you're going to lift that right hip and roll towards the left a little bit. So just the right side lifts a little bit. So here, this is my right hip, and there's a little bit of space between the back of the butt, right side of the butt and the floor. And then you just unwind and you come back onto your back. So again, you roll to the inner edge of the foot, the knee swings towards the left, and then you press along the inner edge of the foot to lift that hip and roll towards the outer left hip a little. But keep your right shoulder heavy. So your right shoulder stays grounded. It's a little bit of a back bend and twist, and then you unwind. One more time, inner edge of the foot, roll it towards the left, and unwind. And then stay on the inner edge of that right foot and stretch the leg long now. And then the foot rolls out. Sole of the foot. Roll to the inner edge of the foot. The knee crosses the midline. And then pressing to the inner edge of the foot to lift the left hip, rolling towards the right. Keep the left shoulder heavy as you lift the left hip and roll towards the right. And then you unwind. So again, just coming in and out of that a couple more times, maybe moving with your breath. Just make sure you're still breathing, no holding of the breath here. Keep the movement easy, gentle, and just feeling how's this movement feel in your low back. Okay, and then we unwind. And then once you're back on your back, again, go to the inner edge of the left foot. Stay on the inner edge of the foot as you slide the foot away and the foot rolls out. Okay, so we're adding on. So now bend your left arm and then bring your left elbow onto the floor just to the outside of the left shoulder. So the elbow and shoulder and elbow are on the same line, and that left palm's just facing up. So it's in cactus arm, like a goalpost arm, right? Your right hand stays on the floor next to your hip there. We're gonna roll to the outer edge of the right foot, and we're sliding it up like we've been doing. Sole of the right foot, in swing that right knee. Now, as you press into the inner edge of the foot, you lift the right hip. You're going to slide your right hand down, and you're going to reach your left arm up. So we're getting long through the left side as we curl in on the right side. And then just bring it back onto your back. Bring that left arm back into cactus. Again, inner edge of the right foot. The knee in swings. Press through the inner edge. Lift the right hip. Roll towards the left a little. Stretch out long through the left arm. Right hand slides down. And back to neutral. And just one more time. And swing the knee, press that hip up, and then lengthen through the left. And unwind. Good. And then roll to the inner edge of that foot and stretch the leg long, and the foot rolls out. Bring your left arm down, palm down. Bring your right arm now into cactus goalpost arm off to the side. So elbows in line with the shoulder, palm facing up, back of the hand on the floor. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Slide the foot up. Roll onto the sole of the foot and then sweep that knee in. Come to the inner edge of the left foot. Press into the inner edge of the foot to lift the left hip. You're rolling to the right. And now as you do so, slide that left hand down towards the bottom of the mat as you reach your right arm up and you press up through the right foot. So lengthening through the right side now, and then unwind. Again, and swing the knee, pressing through the inner edge of the foot to lift that hip, and then lengthen on the right as you curl in on the left. And unwind. One more time. Make sure you're still breathing. And then back to neutral we come. Good. And then bring that arm back down and swing that knee and stretch the leg long. And my dog Ume has joined us. Okay, hi Ume. Okay. And then just windshield wiper all 10 toes in, out, in, out. Just windshield wiper your feet a little. Okay, so now I want us to work at a wall. If you don't have, most of us, you know, we're inside and there's some wall you can have nearby that you can use. You're gonna orient your feet at the wall. So if I was at home, I'm gonna change my setup because I want you guys to see me, but you could just turn here, like your feet on the wall. For me, I'm gonna use blocks at this little piece of furniture here and make that like my wall that I'm gonna press my feet into. So I'm gonna slide. I have to move my dog. Lindsay, sorry, baby. So this is my wall. And now what I'm gonna do, change the camera angle a little. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place, we're still on our back. You're gonna wanna be able to press your feet into the wall, right? My blocks are moving because it's not a real wall, but if this were a real wall, I could really push my feet into it. And then you're gonna scoot yourself just like an inch or two towards the wall, just a little bit. And then you're gonna press your feet into the wall. And now as you, arms to the side, now as you press your feet into the wall and slide yourself away from the wall a little bit, you feel your shoulder blades in the back of the hips slide down towards the feet, right? As you do that. And then you could do that again. Scoot yourself an inch or two towards the wall. And then again, press into the feet to straighten the legs. And as you do so, you'll feel your shoulder blades and the back of the hips slide down. Okay, now you're gonna maintain that. The feet on the wall. Imagine these feet are as if the wall is the floor and you're standing on your feet. So legs are active, spread the soles of the feet, spread the toes. Keep that, imagine your inner thighs are rolling towards the floor here, rolling back. Now maintain that strength in the right leg, hug your left knee in. And just breathe here. Keep that left leg nice and straight, active into the wall. If you lose that action, again, you can scoot yourself closer towards the wall and then press the wall away from you. And then we're gonna hold the outer edge of the right knee with the right hand. Left hand can keep your left hip grounded, or you can open your arm out to the left. And as you inhale, you open your right knee to the right. Let your right elbow ground on the floor. It's a kickstand there supporting that knee. Just breathe here. And then bring it back. And now take the knee in the opposite hand and open your right arm out to the right. Inhale. And as you exhale, you can start to roll the knee to the left. And you're just rolling to the outer left hip. Arch your low back in, keep your right shoulder heavy. Turn your head to the same direction as the knee, so to the left. And then open and close your right hand a few times behind you. Next time you make a fist with the right hand, go ahead and circle the fist around the wrist. And then circle that fist in the opposite direction. And then open the palm. Now press the palm away from you like you're pushing that wall away from you. And then spin your palm back to face the sky, and the back of the hand is on the floor. And reach the hand away one more time. And then go ahead and let your gaze come up to neutral. And as you exhale, look back at that right hand behind you. And then we're gonna bring ourselves back onto our back and hug your right knee in, pressing your foot into the left foot into the wall again. Okay, and then from there, we're gonna go ahead and release. Let both legs be long, let your arms rest. And again, scoot yourself an inch or two towards the wall. And then you press into the wall, slide the shoulder blades and buttock flesh down the back. And then keeping your right foot active, right leg active, you're gonna hug your left knee in. So again, that right straight leg, the inner thighs rolling down towards the floor, toes are pointing straight up to the sky, and you hug your left knee in. Again, if it's not an easy clasp, use your strap around the front of the shin. And then we're gonna hold the left knee with the left hand, right hand can ground the right hip. And as you inhale, open the left knee to the left. So now the left elbow grounds, and that becomes your kickstand supporting you. Again, really lengthen through that straight leg. So imagine pressing the foot into that wall as if you were standing on the foot and the wall's the floor. Bring your knee back to neutral. You're going to switch hands. Right hand now holds the left knee. Left arm can open out to the left with the palm up. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, take your left knee, cross your body towards the right. You're rolling to the outer right hip. That left hip comes off the floor. But keep your left shoulder heavy as best you can, and then turn your head to the right, same direction the knee's moving towards. And breathe into this whole left chest, left arm, left palm. And now you're gonna open and close that left hand a few times behind you. Open and close, open and close. Next time you make that fist, circle that wrist, or circle that fist around the wrist, and then you circle it the other way. And then open the palm, and now press the palm away from you like you're pushing something away. And then spin the palm to face the ceiling, back of the hand on the floor, and reach the hand away again. Breathe here. With your next inhale, bring your gaze up to neutral. And as you exhale, look back at that hand. One more nice breath here. Again, low back is moving in towards the spine while keeping that shoulder heavy. Spinning your navel back towards this left hand. And then we unwind back to neutral here. And again, hug the knee into the chest. Keep that straight leg nice and long, really grounding the femur bone, the thigh bone towards the floor. Pressing out through the heel to lengthen the back line of the leg. And then let's go ahead and gently release. Okay, now you're gonna want your strap. So again, remember, if you don't have a yoga strap at home, you can use a belt or a dog leash, a necktie, a nice long sturdy scarf, anything that helps extend your reach. So we're back on our back with our strap. And again, you're gonna scoot yourself an inch or two towards the wall. So you start with your knees sort of bent, and then you press into the feet to lengthen the back line away from the wall. So you're sliding the shoulder blades and buttock flesh down towards the heels. Now keep your left leg active again. So toes are spreading on that wall. You're pressing into the four corners of the feet into the wall and really pressing out through the heel to lengthen the back line. Maintain the integrity of that left leg. You're going to take the right foot now and slide the strap onto the sole of the foot. And you're going to just bring the leg straight up over its hip. So you don't need to have it way over your head. Just stack it over the hip. And then that foot, both feet are gently flexed. Legs are active. So if your hamstring's a little grumpy here, then you might find it helpful to bend and straighten it a few times. And for those, if this is too much, then you can start with that left leg bent and foot on the floor instead. And then once you acclimate, then you can start to press the foot up into the wall again to straighten that leg. Okay, so listen to your body and what's appropriate here for you. But do stack the ankle, the lifted ankle right over its own hip. You know, sometimes I know that's not always accessible. Sometimes people are here. You're just working towards getting the ankle over the hip. But no need to come beyond that here. All right. And then we're gonna do some other things. So you're gonna hold both sides of the strap in your right hand as you bring your left hand to ground the left hip. So you're gonna do your best to not let your left hip lift and roll over, okay? So keep the left side grounded. Try not to let the left hip lift. As you inhale, open that right leg out to the right again. And again, let your right elbow ground, shoulder blades slide down the back, and then pressing out through those inner heels and balls of the big toes. Breathe into the inner seam of that right leg that's opening off to the right. And again, if you like, you can open your left arm out to the left, palm facing up, shoulder blades sliding down. You can even turn your head to look at your left thumb. Now imagine again that foot that's on the wall, imagine that's the floor. Imagine you're doing this as a balancing pose. You're standing on one foot in the middle of the room. So just visualize that in your mind's eye. And then bring it back up. And we switch hands. Left hand's gonna hold both sides of the strap. I like to take my right thumb and hook it into my crease, right where the thigh and the torso meet. And then I use my thumb in the hip crease and I drag the hip crease towards the wall, towards the feet, to lengthen the outer waist a little bit. And then I let the foot switch across the midline and just stack that right foot over the left hip to start. As best you can, keep the legs straight. Feet are flexed slightly. And then little by little, you let your right foot creep an inch at a time towards the left. And then when you find something good, you pause and you breathe into it and you feel the sensations. As it subsides, you creep the foot over another inch or so, little by little. So don't be in a rush. Nice and easy. So continuing to explore this, breathing into that outer IT band, outer thigh and hip area. You can continue to explore there. Or for those who want, if you want to come all the way over with the right foot to the left, you're welcome to take the foot all the way over to the left and then the left elbow grounds onto the floor. You just bring the foot hip height. And then if that's the case for you, you can take your right arm out and open your right arm to the right, palm up. And then again, you can spin your head and look back at your right thumb and imagine now your navel is spinning, your chest is spinning, everything's spinning to the right as the right leg spins to the left. And again, imagine you're doing this standing. So imagine you're standing. So that bottom leg, actually, if you're coming all the way into this twist, your left foot can even spin. You can roll to the outer edge of the left leg completely. So your left toes are spinning to the left as well. And then imagine you're doing this as a standing pose. And then we bring the whole thing back up. Last thing here, take both sides of the strap in your right hand again. And you're gonna keep the sole of the foot pointing to the sky as you bend the knee, keeping the shin perpendicular to the floor. You're bringing the knee towards the armpit. So not towards the center of the chest and not way out to the side, but just right towards the armpit, like you want your inner knee to graze the side of the body. And then you can, so for some, maybe the hands can reach, and then you're coming into this. But try not to be attached to, and for others, you might just be playing with some micro bending. If this is not immediately accessible, again, you bend the left knee and you plant the left foot on the floor, and that will help make this a little more accessible. So you can pulse up and down, in and out, or for those where you can hold it and breathe there. And for those where it's appropriate, the left leg can be straight, in which case it's like a supine lunge. Okay, and then from there, last option here, if you're able to get in this full expression and you want to play with straightening this leg out now diagonally to the side, you might play with that. So it's no longer going out to the side here, but you're taking it up towards the upper right corner of the mat as you play with straightening the leg out to the side. And then the left leg is straight. You're really keeping it nice and active, pressing into the wall. And then we'll bring the whole thing back and release the foot and let both legs be long. Just take a moment and feel the effects. Take a nice breath in and out. Maybe open your mouth and wiggle out your jaw, soften your tongue, relax around your eyes. Now we're coming into the second side. So again, Bend those knees and slide yourself an inch or two closer towards the wall, and then place your feet on the wall, and then slide yourself away by pressing into the heels, pressing into the wall, so that your legs come towards straight and your shoulder blades and buttock flesh are sliding towards the heels. Now keep your right leg nice and active. Pressing into the wall, you're going to lift the left foot and slide the strap onto the sole of the left foot. And then again, you bring the foot straight up, stack it over its hip. So again, if you are not ready to come straight into this, you can bend the right knee and bend the left knee up and down a few times. Once you're ready to keep it there, then you can stretch your right leg long again and really press into the floor. Let the inner thigh roll down, the right leg. Stacking the left ankle over its own hip, flexing the feet if the legs are just stretched, if the legs are long, breathing here. So just letting the weight of this leg with the strap, weight of the arms on the strap of the ankle to help ground this femur bone into the hip socket. Breathing here. From here, we're going to take both sides of the strap into the left hand, and right hand is going to ground the right thigh, keeping our right leg long. When you're ready, inhale, open your left leg out to the left with the left elbow grounded. And then now press up through the inner heel, ball of the big toe, lengthen the inner line of that left leg. Right leg is still you're pressing the femur bone down towards the floor. You're pressing out through the heel into the wall, and the inner thigh is rolling down. And then if you like, you can open your right arm out to the right, palm up. And then if you want, you can look and turn your head to the right and look at the right thumb. And again, imagine you're standing on the floor and you're doing this as a balancing pose in the center of the room. And just breathe. And then we bring the whole thing back up. We switch hands. So take the left thumb into the hip crease and slide the hip crease, cut it down towards the wall. Get long, get a little length on that left side. And then very slowly let the foot cross the midline, stack it over the opposite hip. Little by little, as best you can, keep that both legs straight. And then little by little, you let the foot start to creep over to the right, and you pause and you breathe and you feel. And then once it's assimilated, again, you scoot it over another inch or so and you pause, you breathe, you feel. So little by little. No rush to get anywhere. Feel the sensations. Maybe there's pulsations, maybe there's tingling. Whatever it is. Notice where you feel it and breathe into what you feel. So again, continue to explore here if you like, or for those who want, if you want to take that left foot now all the way over to the right, let your right elbow ground as you hold the strap. If you're coming all the way into that twist, you're going to let the right foot that's at the floor, you're going to spin on the heels of the right toes, also turn to the right. Right? So the outer edge of the right foot now is on the floor, that straight leg foot, the lower foot that's on the floor. And then from here, you can take your left arm out, palm up. Think about arching your low back in towards the spine, breathing, letting your collarbones broaden, chest nice and broad, and then now spin your navel, your diaphragm, your chest, your lungs, everything spinning to the left. And maybe you can even turn your head to look at the left thumb. And then again, imagine that right foot that's on the wall is standing on the floor, and you're doing this balancing twist. And then we're going to bring the whole thing back up. From here, strap goes back into our left hand. And then we're going to keep the sole of the foot pointing up to the sky as we start to bend that knee towards the armpit. So again, if this is not immediately accessible, you bend that right leg, put the right foot on the floor with the knee bent, and then you work here. And again, it might just be some micro movements. It might be these little pulses as you start to work, bringing that knee towards the armpit. So again, not right into the chest and not out to the side. Just like so that the inner knee kind of grazes the side of the body. So if it's appropriate, the right leg is stretched long, and then you're grounding that femur bone towards the floor. Your inner thigh is rolling towards the floor. And you're just breathing here in the supine lunge, whichever variation you're in of this. And then again, we're going to go ahead and gently release and stretch both legs long and take a moment. From here, again, slide yourself closer towards the wall, enter two, and then again, both legs press into the wall to slide yourself away. So really making strong contact still with the wall. Now, roll to the inner edge of the right foot, and like we did earlier, just slide the foot up towards the inner groin, let the knee open. Or maybe it's down here, wherever the foot makes contact to the inside of that left leg. So you can press against the inner calf, not the knee. So if you're landing at the knee, then slide your foot down. So press to the inner edge of the lower leg or the inside of the upper leg. And again, imagine you're doing this in the center of the room. And then you can take your arms towards the sky and then reach them all the way up overhead. And imagine you're standing in this nice tree pose in the center of the room. And then we'll go ahead and release our arms back down and then slide your right foot away and both feet on the wall. And then again, slide it inch closer towards the wall. Press the feet into the wall to really make good contact, strong legs. Keep the leg nice and strong on the right side now. Roll to the inner edge of the left foot and slide the foot up. So again, the sole of the left foot now makes contact with the inseam of the right leg, either the low leg or the upper leg, but not on the knee. And then pressing the foot into the inner leg and vice versa. Imagine the right foot that's in the wall is standing on the floor. And then when you're ready, taking your arms up towards the ceiling again, and then all the way up overhead if that's available. And then press through the right foot that's making contact with the wall as you reach your arms up. Shoulder blades though slide down the back body. And then here tendencies to overarch. So if this is happening for you, then think about pressing your low back gently towards the floor, inflating the kidney band. Let the front floating ribs soften towards the wall. And then again, sweep your arms back down by the sides. And we'll slide the foot away. Okay, and then go ahead and bend those knees again. Feet on the floor, arms open out wide, feet a little bit wider apart. And let's just windshield wiper our knees a little side to side. And we're gonna make our way up. So let's go ahead and just come up onto hands and knees. We're gonna do some cat-cow before we bring it up to standing. So grounding your hands underneath your shoulders, your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your hips are stacked over the knees. Spread your palm nice and broad and really ground the mound of the thumb and the index finger, the two inner points of the palm, get those nice and grounded, and then spreading the palm nice and broad. Now, if this is not appropriate to be on your palms, you know you can make fists and put the knuckles down instead so that you keep this nice long line at the back of the wrist instead, okay? If it's not good for you to be on hands and knees, then take a seat on a nice firm chair and sit at the edge of it, or you can sit on a blanket on the floor, and again, sit at the front edge of your support if you're doing it seated instead, or you can also do it on your back. But we're gonna arch and tilt. So inhaling, we're coming into cow pose. Broaden the sit bones slide up, the belly hammocks down, but keep your navel hugging up. Glide your heart through between the arms as you look up. Exhale is reverse, tailbone down, kidneys lift, chin towards the chest, crown of the head towards the floor. Inflate the space between the shoulder blades. Again, inhaling, arching through cow pose. Open your mouth, stretch out your tongue. Exhale, round, curl it in. So moving with your own breath, maybe close your eyes. And just feel the undulation through your spine with the ebb and flow of your breath. Okay. And now let's go ahead from here. We're going to come off of our blankets. So you can lift your blankets and fold them and move them out of the way. We're going to come onto our mat. So finding now your mountain pose, Tadasana. Feet are about hip width apart, or you can even bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart. Get your feet nice and parallel. Get all 10 toes oriented forward. And then just bring some awareness onto your feet. So now can you ground the ball of your big toe in your inner heel, the two inner points of the feet, and then lift the outer edges of the feet, lift the toes, spread your toes nice and wide. Keep those two inner points grounded. Keep the foot spreading wide. Ground the ball of your pinky toe and your outer heel. Feel those four corners connecting into the earth. Grounding down through the four corners, allow your toes to relax back towards the floor, but keep your legs active and engaged. Four corners rooted, lift your inner arches of your feet, your inner ankles lift, your inner knees lift. And as you get up to your inner thighs, roll the inner thighs back. As you do so, we soften the inner groin and the sacrum widens in the back. Maintaining all of that, lengthen your tailbone straight down into the earth. And then imagine like you're hugging your sit bones, the bones we sit on, slide those in towards each other, but press your inner thighs out towards the outer thighs. And then hug your outer shins in towards the inner shins. So a lot of counter actions to create this dynamic neutral. Maintain that integrity in the lower body. Shrug your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Again, big shoulder circle. One more. This time now, when your shoulders move back and down, keep those shoulder blades sliding down the back body. You can let your palms spin slightly forward. And then again, grounding down into the earth to lengthen up through the spine, reach the crown of the head up for the sky. Again, breathe into this mid-back kidney band area in the back body. Let your navel gently hug in and up as the navel broadens towards the spine. Collarbones nice and broad, heart is buoyant. Back of the, imagine sides of the throat slide back and up behind the ears, back of the neck nice and long, reaching up through the crown of the head up into the sky. Good. Okay, from here, ground down, inhale, sweep your arms out and up overhead, palms touch at the top. Now as we exhale, we're gonna swan dive. Nice and slow, like you're moving through water, hands onto the thighs. Bend your knees a little bit and now broaden your butt back. Glide your heart forward, shoulder blades down the back. Lift your spine up halfway, parallel to the floor. And then as you exhale, you can fold. Again, halfway lift, lengthen the front spine, folding as you exhale. One more time, halfway lift. Fold as you exhale. Now really bend the knees, press into the feet. We're pressing down to rise all the way back up, arms out and up overhead, sweeping them up overhead, and diving straight through again, exhaling dive. Hands onto your thighs or your shins, lift that heart up halfway, inhale. Fold as you exhale, press down into the feet, bend the knees, come all the way up. And one more time, half salutation, exhaling dive. Halfway lift as you inhale. Fold as you exhale. Press down, rise, 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 rise. And this time when you come up, go ahead and open your arms as you spin open to the right. So the palms are facing the right, the thumbs are pointing up. And then look back at that right thumb. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, let the right hand sweep towards the floor and bring it back forward. Inhale, left arm reaches up and out, spinning open to the left, palms now face the left, thumbs pointing up. Spin your navel, your chest, your head, your gaze back. Look at that left thumb behind you. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let the hands sweep down and forward again. Okay, inhale, take the right arm up and open. As you exhale, sweep it down and forward. Inhale, left arm up and open. Exhale, down and forward. Just one more time. Big circle through the shoulders, opening the chest. Exhale, back. Left arm. Opening on the inhale and bringing it back as you exhale. Good. And then from here, let's just shake it out. Okay, now we're going to work with some balancing. So find something steady, maybe a wall. If not a wall, you can use a chair or something else. You can have a chair, maybe that's something that's not going to move, something stationary, not chair on the rollers, but something stable. And you can put your hand on. So a wall works great. You can have your hand on the wall. Okay, so if you're working at a wall, get your left foot and left hand near the wall. If you're on a chair, then the left hand and left foot are next to the chair or whatever piece of furniture you're using. And then right hand on the hip. So take a moment again to find your feet. Spread the soles of the feet, ground the four corners, lift the inner edges, get that activation of the leg like we did earlier. Now keep your right foot grounded. You're gonna just lift your left, you're gonna bend the left knee and come onto the ball. Get your left foot grounded, your right foot now come onto the ball of the foot. So the foot that's away from the wall or the chair, that leg, you bend the knee. And then you're gonna just pivot on the ball of the foot so that you can ground the ankle onto the heel onto the standing foot ankle. And that bent knee side, the knees pointing out, right? Hand on the hip, shoulder blades down, navel gently in and up. Find your core here. And then nice long line from tip of the tail through the crown of the head and breathe. Find something steady now and set your gaze gently on it and then gaze beyond it. So find that drishti, that gaze, and make sure you're still breathing nice and easy in the breath. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring that bent knee, point it back forward, and then release the foot. You're just gonna do the other side, same thing. We're just easing our way into this first. So get the right hip now at the wall, facing the wall, or on your chair. So I guess when I'm facing you guys, I'm not mirroring you. So whichever foot you just did, the other foot. So whatever hand, the standing leg foot now, again, ground at the sole of the foot, get nice and grounded through that foot. Other leg hand on your hip. Go ahead and bend the knee of the foot that's away from your support. And then you're gonna pivot on the ball of that foot so the knee orients out, and then just place the heel onto the ankle of the standing leg. And then, so careful not to do this. So sometimes when we do this, the standing leg hip hitches out. So hug the hip in, like if I was looking and I didn't see your other leg, I wouldn't know that the other knee was bent. And again, find your drishti and breathe. So, and then you can see if you can take your hand off of your support, right? So that's the first stage. Now when you're ready, go ahead and pivot on the foot again so the knee points forward and release. So we're coming back to the first side. So same thing. So if that was challenging enough, you're just gonna stay and work with that. And then you might see whether or not you can take your hand off of the support, whether it's the wall or a piece of furniture that's stationary or stable. Otherwise, we're gonna be adding on, okay? So if you've got a block now, you can even work with a block. So the standing leg, right, this is the one that's next to your support. Bring your block to the inside of that ankle. And then you're gonna step your other foot now onto the block. And then you can point the knee out and just gently press the heel into, make sure you're not pressing into the knee, right? So if here it's putting you right onto your knee, then you're gonna lower the block if you need, or add another block for more height or something so that you're not pressing against the knee. So I'm just below my knee joint here, but I'm still on the inside of the calf. Okay, so hands on the hip, again, standing leg, hip hugs in, shoulder blades down. And then find the drishti, find the gaze, remember to breathe, and then see if you can take your supporting hand maybe off of the support and find your balance. Okay, so that's the first step. If the block doesn't work for you, just do what we did a moment ago. If this is all totally fine, then you can kick the block out of the way and just see if you can put the foot onto the inseam of the standing leg, again, below the knee or maybe above the knee. Either way, if your foot is pressing into the standing leg, now really press the sole of the foot and the standing leg into each other Set your gaze onto something steady. Make sure you're breathing. And then again, maybe you see whether or not you can take your hands off of the support. If you've got that, you might see if you can take your arms out and up overhead. So imagine, remember earlier we were on our backs and we're imagining the straight leg was standing into the earth. Good, and if your arms are lifted, palms together, and as you exhale, slide it down in front of your heart. And then gently step on out and shake out the standing leg. And we're moving into the second side. So go ahead and turn yourself at the wall, or, I've got a chair I'm using to demo so I can face you guys. So again, the standing leg is the one that's next to the support. Get grounded through the four corners of that foot. If you're working with a block, place the block to the inside ankle of the standing leg, and then you're going to step your other leg on top of that block, and then you'll pivot on the foot so the knee points out, and then gently pressing the heel into the standing leg. Again, not into the knee joint, so below or above your knee. That standing leg hip is not sliding out, it's hugging in. All right, so really hug it in. Shoulder blades down the back body, navel in and up. Keep your core engaged. And if this is plenty, like you can see, if you can take your hand off of the support, adjust the height of the block if you need, or if the block's not appropriate, then you work with the one we did earlier, just the ball of the foot down. For those who can, you don't want to use the block, you can just put the sole of the foot right to the inside of the standing leg, maybe the lower leg, maybe the upper leg, whatever works for you. But if your foot is really making full contact with the leg, then you really press the foot and the leg into each other, and that becomes like your stability. And then set your gaze on that drishti and remember to breathe wherever you're at. When you're ready, maybe see if you can release that support, or you just play, maybe touch and go, touch and go. Stay nice and calm. Can you maintain that inner equanimity regardless of what that outer form looks like? For those who are nice and steady here, if you want to take your arms out and up overhead, feel free. Shoulder blades down the back body though, if your arms are reaching up. Grounding down, lengthening up. Navel in and up. Shoulder blades down in the back body, heart buoyant. And if your arms are lifted, go ahead and bring the palms together. And as you exhale, slide the hands down in front of the heart. Good, and then we're gonna gently step on out and shake it out. Okay, just one more balancing pose since we kind of prepped for it. So again, you can stand with the support. Standing leg is nice and straight, and that hand can be on the support, whether it's the wall or a piece of furniture. And now see if you can lift your other knee. So here, if I'm mirroring you, then it would be the left knee lifted, but it doesn't matter. So whichever side you're on, it's all good. We're gonna do both sides. So the bent knee, the foot that you're lifting, you can use that hand to hug the knee in. You can see if you can find, again, navel in and up, all the same things. So nice and tall through the spine, navel is in and up, engage the core. If you're good here, then you can see whether or not you can release the supporting hand off of the support. And then from there, if you like, you can see if you can open that knee out to the side, shoulder blade down. Again, you can see whether or not you need the support. Okay. We're going to bring the knee back to center. And only if you're feeling stable here. So if you're not feeling stable here, then just maybe continue to play with this. If you're feeling nice and stable and you've got your balance, then you can use both hands on the knee, hug it in. And then keeping the opposite hand on that lifted knee, take the hand of the lifted leg side and bring it onto the hip. Find your breath. And then maybe you can start to turn yourself to look over that shoulder, or maybe even back towards the back wall. And then bring your gaze back to neutral and gently step out, shake it out. Second side. Last thing. Okay, so again, turn yourself around towards your support, or move the support to the other side. Find the standing leg side that's next to the support. Find the four corners of the foot. And then lifting the other knee, using that hand to hug it in. That standing leg outer hip is hugging in, shoulder blades down, tall through the spine, navel in and up. From there, see if you can release the support. So maybe it's just a little touch and go. Feel how your feet how the ankle is working to keep your stability. So it might be a little wobbly, right? Especially if you haven't been doing any balancing for a while. And just make sure you're breathing. So from here, with your hand on the support or off the support, if you don't need the support, you can bring your hand onto your hip. And then we're gonna open that lifted leg out to the side possibly. Again, breathe. Now, if you're feeling really steady here, you can look over its opposite shoulder, looking away from the lifted knee side. Back to center, bring the knee back. And then again, only if you feel nice and steady here, you don't need the hand on the support, you can bring both hands onto that lifted knee and hug it in here. Outer hip is hugging in. Feel how your feet, so here it's really helpful if the foot is spreading broad on the floor, four corners rooted. And then possibly switching hands. So opposite hand of the lifted leg supports that knee, other hand is on its hip, and then maybe you spin to look back. Look to the side or look back. Make sure you're still breathing. And then bring it back to neutral, and we're stepping on out. Okay, and shake it out. From there, we'll just do one salutation down to the floor, and I'm gonna turn things back over to Katie. So if you get a chance, please take a Shavasana, a rest. You can put your legs up the wall or just lay nice and flat, but let's go ahead. Ground, find your Tadasana, grounding down, inhale, sweep your arms out and up overhead. Exhaling, we'll dive. Halfway lift as we inhale, fold as we exhale. And then allow yourself to find your seat. We're coming down for a rest into Shavasana. And I'm going to turn things back over to Katie as she shares the book of today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Kat, for another wonderful session. That was really great. All right, I'm going to share my screen here to share this week's book recommendations. All right, so the theme for this week is balance. And as a full-time working mother, I automatically thought of just trying to balance all of the responsibilities and people in my life and self-care. There's just so many ways that we're being pulled every day. So I wanted to share this first book called Burnout: The Secret of Unlocking the Stress Cycle by Emily Nagosi and Amelia Nagosi. And it explains why women experience burnout differently from men, and it provides a simple science-based plan to help minimize stress, manage emotions, and live a more joyful life. And this is actually on my TBR right now. I'm waiting for it to come in. So I'm looking forward to reading that and getting some good tips. And then I also wanted to share for our teens out there this book called Anxiety Relief for Teens: Essential CBT Skills and Mindfulness Practices to Overcome Anxiety and Stress by Regine Galanti. And of course, teens also have a lot on their plates. They have social lives and grades to worry about and extracurriculars and the future to think about. So there's a lot going on. So this shares techniques to help manage anxiety and reverse negative patterns. So I hope that those are helpful for you. Let me stop sharing here. And thank you again for joining us for Reach and Read, and a big thank you to Kat. We'll be back next Thursday, August 3rd at 10 a.m. So we hope to see you then. So to find a library location near you, sign up for a library card, or to learn about upcoming programs for all ages, just go to www.saclibrary.org. So for Kat, myself, and the Sacramento Public Library, thank you so much and be well.